Hello. So, for those that are new to my platform, you might be wondering what exactly is Be Your Own Kind. It is exactly that, be your own kind. I started this platform maybe, I want to say about 6 or 7 years ago, and it started as a blog because I just wanted to I had this newfound something where I was just like, oh, I just want to share my experiences and help everyone be their own kind, just for me to realize how much of my own kind that I wasn't. That's the short of it. And so over this time doing this journey, I have kind of tailored and edited this brand into what I thought it should be, and tried to add structure, routine, all the stuff that I'm not. I'm a very random person, and one of the things about adulthood that I think I struggle with is that, like, routine. Like, you can't just wake up when you want to. You can't go to work when you feel like it. If you need things to go off the ground, you have to be consistent, and that's totally against my personality. So the more that I have this brand, the more that I'm like, this has to be my creative output or outlet to be random. You know what I'm saying? So I've been trying to niche down this platform for years, just to discover that the niche is basically, I guess you can say, lifestyle, right? It's my own kind. It's my own randomness. It's my own moment where I don't have to be quote unquote in a routine and quote unquote like perfect. You know what I'm saying? And really, in other situations, there's no such thing as perfection. But when I'm at work, I can't just say what I want to say, right? I mean, I could if I didn't care about keeping my job, but this is a part where I can just be myself. So what do you expect from Be Your Own Kind? A lot of randomness. However, I do like to put in hints of like mental health, like a couple of days ago, if you're following my TikTok on Be Your Own Kind 24, shameless plug, I did a quick carousel about connecting with yourself. And I feel like connection is important, right? Because I feel like that's what we're missing, right? Like, true connection that doesn't involve a screen, that doesn't involve DMing, that doesn't involve text message, just connection. And I feel like with all of this technology, we are losing a bit of that. We're losing a bit of that connection. Recently, how I came to this is I started like mailing letters. And now this is like my monthly thing, because when I am typing a letter, I'm not surfing the net. I'm literally just typing and just letting my heart pour. It's an outlet for me, and we need that chance to like get things out. You know what I'm saying? Even if it is, this is how important you are to me, and then it helps the receiver, right, too, because when you're an adult, what is your mail? Basically bills, right? Or junk mail, or people asking for more money. It's always something that's going to take out of your pocket, right? So how do you feel if you receive a letter in the mail and it's actually pouring into you, saying you're this incredible person, and it's out of the blue, it's unexpected, and then you can do the same by text, but I don't know. I feel like we're missing that level of anticipation, right? I'm an 80s person. I'm an 80s kid, So it's like that anticipation of when I used to receive letters from my great aunt and write her back. And then I'm just sitting there waiting, can't wait for her to like send me the letter. Or I used to write my best friend a lot, like back and forth or whatever, when I was in high school. So it was just, it's just that anticipation, like, oh my God, when is it coming in the mail? Everything is so this. And then we wonder why we struggle with patience, right? Because what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? And life does not work like technology or software or Amazon Prime, right? When we want to achieve a goal, that takes patience. It is a process. I can't wake up this morning and be like, oh, I'm going to be an astronaut, and then it just happened. No, I got to go through all these courses, all this education, blah, 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 just to get there. That's why the older I get, the more I am learning to enjoy the process. The process is where the lessons are. The process is where the successes are. The process is where the failures are. This is the building of you. This is the building of your own kind. And when I say own your difference, that's what I mean, because each and every last one of us are different. Each and every last one of us is unique. Even if there is someone out here that has the same platform that I have and the same subject matter, the difference between that platform and this platform is they're them and I'm me. And that's what makes that important. Everyone needs a little dose of everyone, because that's what adds to this universe, because we're all different in our own way. And I wasn't even going to talk about this in this video, but this is how my mind runs, right? And so I love to have that space to share stories that I've heard, share subjects that I'm interested in. But I also want to know what you're interested in. So if you start viewing the videos that are coming soon in the next month or so, and you want a subject that you want me to cover and research, let me know, because I really, really like researching it, and I really, really want to get back to not only connecting to me as who I am and taking what I thought was something that I had to correct, right? Because I'm a random person, I always felt like I had to autocorrect who I was, autocorrect my thoughts, autocorrect how I'm talking, how I'm speaking, how articulate or inarticulate I am, and really that causes stress over time, right? You kind of like microaggressing yourself, So I've learned to, yes, have the tools when I am random. If I'm in a professional setting, I have to have an outline so I can make sure I go back to my point. Learning how to navigate the world as me and not anyone else. And it's great to read like self-help books and things of that sort, but you also have to make sure that when you're absorbing that information, that you make sure it's realistic for who you are. It's realistic in your situation. You could read a budget book, but if their budget isn't matching your budget, maybe instead of saving 10% of everything you make, if you can't afford that, start with 1%, start with 2%. Meet yourself where you're at, because sometimes I feel like we don't even meet us where we're at. And that is the point of connecting with yourself, so that you can know where you're at, you can meet yourself where you're at, and you can evolve from that point. So welcome to Be Your Own Kind. And I look forward to connecting with all of you. I look forward to connecting and sharing, what things that I've come up with through my blogs or through my videos and things of that sort, or anything that you may come up with, So I just love this platform. And as many times as I have rebranded, and as many times as I just keep trying new things, I don't know where that sentence was going. Basically, I'm just going to continue to do this because this is my outlet and I love this. It's just knowing how to do it where it's not a stressor, knowing how to do it without feeling like you're responsible, I don't know, like responsible for, what am I trying to get at? Responsible for like getting this, I don't know where I was going with that, but just making it feel like a chore. I lost my train of thought with that. But it's just basically like, you're only really responsible for yourself. I don't know why responsibility keep coming in my spirit, but just responsible for yourself. We are not responsible for other people's reactions for who we are. We are not responsible for that. We have to create our safe space and protect our safe space. So if in the event that something doesn't align with that, or something doesn't feel safe to you, you have the right to separate from that. You have the right to protect yourself from that. And I say that because sometimes when you are close with people, or sometimes when it's been a familiar setting or a familiar person, what have you, we tend to put that safety on hold or push it to the back burner because of familiarity, because of nostalgia. And sometimes that takes us out of that safety zone. And sometimes I feel like I compromised my safety and just relinquish any responsibility I had of protecting my own peace while trying to build my platform. There we go. There's that. So me learning that this is fun, this is great to engage, this is great to connect. But if it gets to the point where I'm feeling burnout, if it gets to the point where it's like bleeding into other portions of my life, it's about balance, right? And we may never be like this, but if I can be a little bit like that, that's the goal, right? So anyway, this was supposed to be like a 3-minute video. So anyway, thank you for following me. Thank you for rocking with my randomness. If you've been here from the beginning, you know all the changes. And I just want to say that I appreciate that. And I'm grateful because no one has to support you. So anytime anybody supports me, it is just such a blessing. And until next time, don't forget to be your own kind, own your difference.